Welcome back to Wednesday Night Sports.
Yep.
This
Episode
week,
3.
Yeah. Sorry.
Trace. And similar to last week, we're going to be going over 3 conferences this
We're
week.
gonna our main focuses are gonna be the ACC conference as well as the Big Ten.
Big Ten and the Mountain West.
Yeah, and then at the end, we're gonna do a quick cover of the Mountain West because they're low-key a fun conference. Horrible, but they got Boise State, so
I think we should go over the Pac-12.
you know what? No, but we went over last week. Excuse you.
Okay.
All right.
Anyway.
So ACC, we're looking at 4 solid teams.
4.
Here.
Pitt, actually. Okay, Pitt's hard.
Pitt,
Especially if you look at their schedule.
they got a weak schedule.
Yeah. But they play SMU this
They
week.
play SMU this week.
So this will be like
this is-
deciding factor of they're really legit or not.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. 7-0.
Yeah, you
Respect.
can't disrespect
Mad
that.
respect.
It's like Miami. As much as I hate them, gotta respect
Yeah.
their record
I'm actually
because they're winning games they should win.
Miami's my number one op. Screw
Yeah,
Miami.
I don't like Miami.
Miami.
I don't like Cam Ward.
Nope.
He thinks he's him.
Nope. Miami,
You're
you have a
not.
horrible defense.
Yeah,
So
it's literally your offense that counts.
I'm low-key just gonna go through this quick.
Yeah,
Because
no.
I don't know much about the ACC.
I agree.
But off my limited knowledge, I'm gonna go Clemson 1, SMU 2, Miami 3. And here's the thing: I think SMU and Miami would actually be such an interesting matchup because
Offensive shootout.
both offenses are immaculate.
Yeah,
It'll be a shootout. I think SMU would take it personally unless Cam Ward actually balls out. He is good. I'm not gonna doubt he's not. Just highly overrated.
Yeah, very
does not
overrated.
deserve Heisman.
Ashton Jonty
Yeah.
and Travis Hunter way ahead of him.
Yeah.
What I think.
Hunter balled out.
He's so good. So I think it'll be a tough race because you got Dylan Gabriel too.
Yeah,
He's balling out.
he's coming up the ladder.
But we'll get to Oregon too later.
Yeah.
So anyway,
After Miami at 3, I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh.
okay.
Then I'm gonna go Louisville.
Yes.
Then after Louisville, I'm gonna put Duke.
Yes. Duke isn't as bad as what their records. They're 6-2.
They
They're 2-2
nearly beat
in
SMU,
conference play
and in my opinion, SMU could be number 2
in the
wait.
ACC.
Did I did
Yeah,
put him
you
at
did put
I
SMU
put him
too.
at number 2. Duke almost beat
Yeah.
him. So
Yeah.
I think Duke deserves what? 5?
5.
Yeah.
I agree
6.
with you. Virginia Tech and Georgia Tech.
It's 6.
Yeah. 6
Behind
and 7.
Louisville. Then I'm gonna put Virginia Tech.
Yep.
Georgia
put 'em
Tech.
above Georgia Tech just because it's Georgia Tech.
Yeah. After Georgia Tech, we're going to go with Syracuse, Wake Forest, Virginia. Oh, wait. Rewind.
Yeah.
Cal goes after Duke.
Yep.
Then we're going to go with the Techs. Then we're going to go Syracuse, Wake Forest, Virginia, Boston College, NC State, North Carolina, Stanford, and the bottom of the barrel,
Our beloved
the Florida State Seminoles. 1-7, horrible. You started number 10. You were ranked 10 at the beginning of the season.
And you have wide receivers that have decommitted to your school because of how bad you guys are.
That is so sad.
It's so bad.
That
Okay,
it's actually
so
pathetic.
just like yours,
Pathetic.
have it the same. Basically, so Clemson, I'm going to keep Clemson at 1, obviously. I'm going to keep Miami at 2 just because they're undefeated. And so basically, Miami and SMU are tied for me because offensive shootout.
Okay.
Then you got to have Pitt. Got to respect their record, obviously. So it goes Clemson, Miami, SMU, Pitt. Then like you, Louisville. Then Duke. Then Virginia Tech. Then Georgia Tech. No, wait. Duke, then Cal.
Yeah.
Then Virginia Tech and Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech is not good this year.
No, they're not.
They're low-key stinking it up.
Yeah.
But
And then Syracuse, which you can put Syracuse ahead of Georgia Tech or Virginia Tech, I feel like. But it's too hard to compare.
That's fair.
So then Syracuse, then Wake Forest, then Virginia, then Boston College, then NC State, then North Carolina, then Stanford, and then Florida State. Obviously.
Yeah.
Wait, no, they're supposed to be ranked. Just
Oh,
kidding. You guys
no,
suck.
Florida State's better than Oregon, dude. Come on.
You guys are so bad. Okay, so anyway, that's
That's the ACC.
our quick run of the ACC.
I don't know much of the ACC.
No.
Hence why we decided to cook through because
I think I'm going to watch the Pitt SMU game, though,
yeah.
this week. Just because
I'm curious. I think SMU might win
I
by
think
20
it could
because their offense
it could be
is
either SMU destroys
SMU is
Pitt
so good.
or it's a close game.
Yeah. No, nothing else.
Like, Pitt's not going to destroy SMU, I feel like.
Yeah.
Either SMU just destroys them or it's a close game.
Yeah. So that is the ACC.
Yes.
Next up, Big 10.
Yes.
Arguably the best conference this year.
I think
I think they're better than the AC or
the SEC.
the SEC this year.
Yes.
And
Well,
here's
they
why.
have 3 undefeated teams.
You
And
have-
they're all well, they have how many teams ranked?
Like 6.
5, 6.
Because you have
Well, let's see. You got Indiana, Oregon,
Penn State, Ohio, Illinois. So 5.
5. Yeah.
Because the others aren't.
Yeah, no, nobody else is ranked.
So number 1. This is not a question. If you think
Oregon.
otherwise, it's Oregon.
Yep.
After Oregon, we're gonna
Yep.
go with an interesting take. I don't know if you agree. I'm gonna go with a 3-way tie: Indiana,
Yeah.
Penn State, and Ohio State.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: after this week, Penn State and Ohio State play this Saturday, Big Noon
Yep.
kickoff.
Well, and I'm going to have to say whoever loses that game is out of
Yeah.
the 3-way tie.
I agree.
Right?
Loser takes 4th place,
Yes.
and that sounds harsh, but at the same time, 4th place, that's solid.
Well, and
You can still contend for
the only reason why I have
championship.
Penn State tied with them is just because Penn State doesn't look that dominant. I mean, Indiana has been putting up a lot more points than Penn State.
Indiana's good.
Yeah. They're really good.
Like,
So you
if
could arguably put Indiana at 2 and then have Penn State and Ohio State
I would agree.
at tie,
if
and then whoever loses out of it, right?
if I had to go solely, no ties.
Yeah, solely ranks.
I would go Oregon, Indiana, Ohio State, Penn State.
Yes,
That
agree.
is what I would put. Ohio State put up a good fight against Oregon.
Yeah,
Oregon is just better.
that was honestly game of the year so far, I think.
Actually, I'd say Georgia, Bama.
That's fair.
Because
The only reason why I put Oregon and Ohio State is because it was close the entire game, but Georgia had to come storming back. I mean, for thriller-wise, you'd have to put Georgia and Alabama because Georgia made the comeback and took the
Yeah.
lead with 2 minutes left. And then Ryan Williams decided to be him.
I can't.
And
It's my-
yeah,
Oh.
he's so good. But
Imagine.
anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
So I agree.
That's our top 4.
Yes.
If we had to
If
make
you
it cut
have
and
to
dry,
put them at ranks.
but I think at this current point in time, was it week 9?
Yeah.
No.
Wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
9,
8, 10?
10?
Yeah, because episode 1 was week 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. Week 10.
Kind of crazy.
Going into week 11. Illinois, number 5. I think
Well, you'd have to put
That's-
them at 5,
they're
right?
the last ranked team in the Big 10.
Yeah,
which
you'd
is-
have to. Just out of respect for what they've done so
Yeah.
far this year.
I agree.
And they've only lost to Penn State and Oregon.
Also, I'm going to say it right now. Those leather helmets that they wore were the ugliest things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, they weren't good looking.
They did
I
not
think it
look
was
good.
like a cool idea.
It was a great idea on paper, but
But-
executed so bad.
I mean, they low-key looked like leather, but I don't know why you'd want to wear that.
It just looked stupid.
So,
Not to
yeah,
take anything away from the team, just
mean,
get a better
yeah,
manager
that's fair.
of equipment.
Like, it was a cool idea.
Yeah.
Like, throwback, obviously it's cool. The leather, it looked like it was leather. I got to give that to them. The design looked realistic, but it just wasn't a good uniform.
Yeah.
It just, yeah. I don't know.
Anyways, after Illinois, I'm gonna go with
Wisconsin.
with Wisconsin. Wisconsin, is actually solid. They put up a good fight against Penn State.
Yeah.
They were leading in the first half. Then Penn State took over.
Yeah, and see, that is why I struggle with where putting Penn State so far this year, which is why I think this Ohio State-Penn State game will decide or, show, how good both teams really are.
Yeah, that's fair. After Wisconsin, I'm going to go with Nebraska.
Yeah. Nebraska is not as bad as people think. I mean,
Cornhuskers are good this year, man.
they got blown out by Indiana, but Indiana is just so good this
better.
year. They are so good this year.
Indiana's better. I'm gonna be curious to watch an Indiana-Oregon championship game.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome.
It'll be really cool. But, yeah, no, I agree with you. Nebraska is not as bad as people think. I just think Indiana is just overall the better team, obviously, because they killed them. But then Nebraska almost beat Ohio State at home, which is also why I struggle with Penn State, Ohio State, because both teams look like they're struggling just a little bit.
Yeah.
That is the only reason why. Don't get me wrong, Penn State's a good team. They're 7-0, 4-0 in conference play. And Ohio State kept it close with Oregon, who's arguably the best team in the country.
Yep. They are number one as of current standings.
Yeah.
My personal opinion, Georgia should be number one.
They
lost to Bama.
Yeah. Almost came
Quality
back. They
loss.
struggled at the beginning. But I think Oregon, Georgia could go both ways.
Yeah. Low key, after Nebraska, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Minnesota's better than
Iowa and Michigan aren't good. They're not
Michigan
good.
Who?
Yeah, exactly.
Natty winners last year.
The fall off of Michigan and Washington.
To be fair,
has to be studied.
They lost their QB and their head coach. That is the only breathing room I'm going to give them. But McCarthy didn't do anything last year. It was all Gus Edwards.
Breathing room for two people, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're really a good team, you wouldn't have to rely on a quarterback and a head coach, right?
Well, I mean, if we look at Boise, they're relying on Genty.
Yeah.
And
that's fair.
If they were put up against the top 3-4 teams in the Big 10, Boise I'd say they'd lose.
Yeah.
I think.
But that's the thing, because you can't always rely on one person.
You can't tell.
You can't tell. If they always rely on one person.
If they have good run defense, what do?
Exactly.
I mean, Genty is the best running back we've seen in years.
Yeah.
He's
a beast.
He's just a little below track to beat I'm hard blanking. Barry Sanders, thank you. Right now he's on track for 2,100 yards, I think.
Yeah, it's around
and
there.
That's only 500 below Barry Sanders. Yeah. And 500 is a lot, I will say.
Yeah, it is. But for Ashton Genty, that's only 2-3 games.
Imagine what he does next year.
Yeah.
If he doesn't win Heisman this year, he's winning it next year.
Yeah.
Because guess who's drafting this year? Travis Hunter.
Yep. And Cam Ward is a senior as well.
So he's also going to draft.
So
I mean, if Genty chooses to draft this year, I don't think it's smart to.
I don't think he is. I think he came out and said he's staying.
Well, good for
because
him.
People were also asking him if he wanted to transfer. But he said he'd rather build a legacy at one team.
Good for him.
Yeah, exactly. I respect him for it.
Yeah.
But anyway, getting a little bit sidetracked.
After Minnesota, I think it's pretty down the standings here.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Iowa, then Michigan, then Michigan State, Washington, USC, if you don't know, Maryland, Rutgers, Northwestern, and our favorite bottom two, our basketball schools, UCLA and the Boilermakers.
Ugh.
Stick to basketball. That's all I have to say.
Well, I mean, UCLA used to be good at football.
They used to be. Downfall needs to be studied.
It's just like USC, though. Nobody knows what happened.
How did they?
Washington.
And Florida State.
They're
the exact same team.
Yeah.
And they're 1-7.
So, yeah. That's Trevor's rundown, right?
Yeah. Should I recap? Nah.
You went through it.
Yeah, I went through it pretty
I mean,
clear.
if people really wanted to hear it, they could just rewatch the
That's
video.
true. That's true.
But, so, I would put basically the exact same that you did. I would put Oregon, obviously at 1. You'd have to. Then I'd put Indiana at 2. Just because they've looked more dominant than Penn State and Ohio State so far. Then Penn State, Ohio State tie game. This weekend will defer who's the better team, I think. Then you'd put Illinois at 5 because they're the only other ranked team in the Big Ten.
Yeah. That's fair.
Then
they got ugly helmets. Sorry.
But then you would put Wisconsin after Illinois, then Nebraska, then Minnesota. Then, just like you said, you would just have to go down the rankings from there. You got Iowa, Michigan State and Washington.
They're pretty
even. Yeah. Could go either way.
Yeah.
So, not going to put one ahead of the other.
That's how I feel about that entire bottom 6. Or not bottom 6. That middle 6 before the bottom 2.
Yeah.
They're all interchangeable. Maybe
same.
not Northwestern, but everyone else from Michigan State to Maryland, or to Rutgers, sorry.
Yeah.
They're all 4-4.
Yeah.
So, yeah, keep going.
But, no. But I feel like Washington and Michigan State would beat USC, Maryland, or Rutgers. I feel like.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know. So, yeah, like you said, you would literally keep it the same. Then, obviously, UCLA and Purdue. Just basketballs.
Except we'll see how good Purdue is in basketball this year.
Yeah,
I mean,
Zach Edey carried them.
How did they do last year? Oh, they did good. They're, Final 4?
Yeah.
Did they make it to the championship?
No.
Wait.
No,
they played UConn.
Yeah.
But Zach Edey took them there.
Yep.
Just look at the stats. Zach Edey
Yeah.
single-handedly took them there.
Yep. Who carried you guys?
But regardless.
But again, recruiting.
Recruiting.
Big thing.
Yeah.
You never know. So anyway, that is the Big Ten recap for where we would put for rankings.
I agree.
And
We have identical lists.
they're a fun conference to watch.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we go to the Mountain West Conference, which
I want to start from the bottom here.
yeah. It's more fun to start from the bottom with this kind of conference. I feel like.
So, our bottom 5 teams. I'm not quite sure on Hawaii, but Air
I
Force,
don't watch Hawaii.
Nevada, Wyoming, Utah State, and Hawaii are all in the bottom 25,
Yeah.
which I think is just awesome. I love looking at bottom 5 or 25 stats. They're just
It's
horrible.
funny because they're all similar stats.
Yeah.
And yeah.
But I mean,
Let's see. Let's see Wyoming and Florida State play, right?
yeah.
I mean, come on.
That would be fun. Let's watch Utah State play Purdue.
I think Utah State could take it.
Oh, for sure. Purdue is
So bad. So bad.
Kennesaw State could beat Purdue.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's saying something. But in the number 12, I'm going to put Air Force.
Well, you'd have to.
Air Force is stinky.
0-4 in conference.
Air Force really putting down the military right now.
Yeah.
Or letting them down, sorry. Army, Navy, killing it. Killing it.
I mean, Navy got killed by Notre Dame.
But it's Notre Dame.
Yeah. But Army and Air Force play. Do they play this week? I think they might play this week, actually.
Do they?
They might.
I'm not quite sure.
We'll have to look at it.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, Air Force at 12.
Oh, whoa. Wyoming at 11. Wyoming, you're 1-7.
Yeah.
That is just sad. Then
So sad.
at 10, we're going to go with Nevada. Then Utah State at 9. Then Hawaii at 8.
Yep.
Now that's your bottom 5. The rest, New Mexico, San Jose State, UNLV, they're pretty interchangeable.
Yeah.
I'd
put UNLV at second in Mountain West.
That is true. I will disconnect UNLV from that list. said I'll replace it with Fresno.
Yeah.
So we'd probably go New Mexico 7, San Jose State 6, Fresno 5. I think I'm gonna go San Diego State 4, Colorado State 3, Las Vegas 2, and Boise 1.
Yep.
And Boise State,
I feel like that's like the perfect list, to be honest.
I-
That's exactly how I would put it.
I think Boise State should transfer, to be honest. Not transfer. Move
Switch
conferences.
Yeah.
Not to the Pac-12,
No.
because the Pac-12 is not going anywhere.
Well, I think Big 12 would be a good fit for it.
That's what I was just about to say. Because here's the thing. Boise State is not nearly good enough for the Big Ten or the SEC. Because to me, SEC and Big Ten, those are your juggernaut conferences.
Yeah.
You have competition from the other ones that can stand up with them. But in overall, those two conferences just clear the other two.
Yeah.
But Big 12 and ACC, they're in the bubble.
Yeah.
They're chilling there. And I think the ACC would be too far for Boise State to travel.
Well, I mean Cal travels everywhere.
If you look at Cal and Stanford, they're spending so much time on planes, fatiguing their players. Not that that's why they're losing, because
they've got to be used to it at some point. Just travel.
But that's just hard on players.
Well, yeah, no, I agree. I think Big 12 would be a good fit just because Big 12 is like mid
Big 12,
country, right?
Big 12 is better than the ACC, and they're closer in proximity.
Yeah.
So I think Boise State would have a perfect fit in the Big 12.
Yeah.
And because they're a power conference or a power school. It doesn't seem right for them to just stay in the Mountain West. Obviously,
I
they're
agree.
killing it. You'll win out the conference.
But they're moving from the Mountain West to already not a good conference, right? To the Pac-12, which look at the teams that are joining.
It'll be the Pac-6.
Exactly. But again, teams aren't even that good who are joining.
In my opinion,
Washington State's good this year.
In my opinion, it's called the Pac-State after their transfer.
Yeah.
You only have schools with state in their name.
Yeah,
Boise
exactly.
State, Colorado State, San Diego State, Fresno State, Utah State, Oregon State,
Yep.
and Washington State.
Yeah. So.
And UNLV declined.
Yeah.
See, that's where you're just not doing it right.
Yeah.
You're not doing it right.
Yeah.
I think Pac-12 and the Mountain West should merge.
Yeah.
I think
it would make it more interesting just because you're adding two more teams, and Washington State is a good team.
They're a good team.
Because Boise State and Washington State, I feel like would be a fun game to watch.
Yeah, Boise State clears them.
Oh, they
for
do.
Sure.
But it would be more interesting than UNLV was a good game.
Yeah.
But you look at the rest of the conference and it's bad.
Yeah. So if my take was actually relevant, to the higher ups, I would say the Pac-12 Mountain West merge. Mountain West adopts the Pac-12 name, keeps the Pac-12 brand going.
Yeah.
And the Pac-12 just gives ownership or leadership to the Mountain West. So Mountain West runs the conference, but the Pac-12 keeps their brand, their legacy, their name, all of that.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
I think that would be the perfect opportunity. Mountain West.
But if I were to have it my way, I would put Boise State in the Big 12.
Oh, for sure. But I think
realistically,
the Mountain West
just mesh Mountain West and Pac-12.
gets a better name, better brand, better awareness throughout the country.
Better overall.
Yeah. And then
You're
the
adding
Pac-12
two more teams who could be hit or miss.
Yeah. The Pac-12
each season
revives itself.
Yeah.
It's that easy.
You're
Obviously
back,
when I
and
say
it
that
would be
easy,
14 teams, but
obviously when I say it's that easy, it's not that easy because
no
paperwork and all that.
Money,
Yeah.
time,
and just merging in general is
it's hard. Because then you gotta work on new schedules.
Yeah, I'd say
all the things.
On paper, it's a simple merge.
Yeah. Well, it's realistic too.
It is realistic, And it makes sense.
Because it's in close proximity, too.
Because the Mountain West and the Pac-12 are now dead.
Yeah.
The Mountain West loses its 4 best teams.
Yeah.
Or three best teams, sorry. And then the Pac-12, still mid. 6 teams. How do you even make a conference out of 6 teams?
Yeah.
Mountain West, how do you make a conference out of 8 teams? Obviously, it's better than 6, but it's still not great.
You know.
Like, if you're trying to make a better conference, making it 6 is not it.
No,
and
it's not.
And if you're going to add more teams, they're going to be bottom 25
Mountain
teams.
West wouldn't... You couldn't even count it as a conference, really.
Well, you can count it as a conference.
Well,
or
I mean, you'd have
the
to
new,
because
you're talking the new conference.
Yeah, the new one.
I mean,
Because, I
it'd
mean,
be
if
like
you
the
look
Sun Belt Conference.
Well,
or the
UNLV
AAC.
would run it, right?
Yeah.
UNLV would run it.
I mean, that's the only reason why they would stay.
Yeah, exactly.
They would go undefeated every year.
Exactly.
Because you're playing no comp.
Exactly.
So the Mountain West is going to be worse than the Sun Belt Conference.
Yeah. Yeah.
They should merge.
Yeah. No, but I agree. Pac-12 and Mountain West should merge, but again, it's a lot harder.
It's harder than we say,
Yeah.
but that's just my humble
But
strong opinion.
yeah, no, I agree. I fully agree with you on that. It's not a hot take either. So yeah. Anyway,
Just to recap, we have the exact same list, so I'll just recap it for everyone
yeah.
because we're pretty cut up on that. Boise State number 1,
Yep.
no questions asked. Then we're gonna go with UNLV number 2, Colorado State, San Diego State, Fresno State, San Jose State, a lot of states, New Mexico State. Oh, not state. Sorry, no, New Mexico.
New Mexico.
The Lobos. Hawaii, Utah State, Nevada, Wyoming, and Air Force. Air Force, you're pathetic.
Yep. Same with you, Wyoming.
Yeah.
But again, respect. I'm not playing D1 ball.
Nope.
But yeah. Anyway, just like you said, that sums it up. We basically had the same lists for both.
For all conferences.
But my personal opinion, I think they're like valid lists.
They are.
And again, we didn't know a whole lot about the ACC.
I don't know ACC ball.
Yeah. But,
I'm sorry for you ACC fans.
yeah, I only know your top 5 teams. Yep. That's it. But yeah, anyway, that sums up basically episode 3.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. Next week. What should we cover next week?
I mean, we could recap week 10.
Recap week 10.
Because, I mean, you look at the different games we have.
It'll be week 11.
It will be week 11.
We'll be recapping week 11.
Yeah.
So we could recap week 11 and then get an outlook on week 12.
Yeah.
All right. Next week, we're going to cover week 11, cover how games played out. And then we're going to, like episode 1, we're going to make a prediction on week 11 or week 12.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's been it for this week.
That's episode 3 of Wednesday Night Sports. Wednesday.
We'll see you
next
week.
next week.
Peace.
Peace.